You kept telling them it was wrong, and they did it again 20 minutes later. So you said it louder, you forced it harder, and somehow it made it worse, not better. Here's the part that nobody tells you. It wasn't working for a reason that has nothing to do with how loud you got. A reason buried in how a kid's brain is actually being built. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You stop fighting your kid, and you start leading them. By the end of this, you'll know why the old way keeps backfiring, and the one move you can use tonight instead. Same kid, same meltdown, completely different result. I'm saying this as the kid who grew up on the other side of that, not as a parent. Think of the last time when you saw a kid show their love for the world. Saying hi, hugging random people, wanting people to be safe, blowing kisses, and handing them stickers. My first memory of that feeling was when I was about 5 or 6 when I saw my friend's mom breathe and swallow. I said, "You are just like me. I wouldn't want to see you suffer." My body recognized another body and the feeling just arrived. Can you remember the last time you felt that feeling? Unless the child is the omen, they will come into this world having that feeling of love towards others without being taught. But there was one thing that I was taught: how to suppress that feeling. Not directly, indirectly. The beatings buried that memory for over 30 years, but the capacity was always there. The force just pushed it down. And similar things can happen in smaller ways in your home. Every time you reach for force on a kid who can't even understand what you're forcing yet, and who can barely even understand their own emotional experience. So here's what I found when I started to understand how children work. You and I can sit in a hard moment and reason through it. See the gray area. A child can't do that yet. They're running on what their body is doing in that very second. Sensation, feeling, instinct. That's the whole operating system at that age. And think about what we're really asking them when we demand that they get it right or when we tell them that they get it wrong at an adult level. We're asking them to already know what took us decades to learn. We're asking a 5-year-old to skip all of that and arrive where we are. They can't do that. So when they get it wrong and we come down hard, I'm right, you're wrong, all that teaches the child is that they are the wrong one. Sometimes you say it out loud, sometimes they just absorb it. And with no repair after, that's the lesson that sticks. Not right and wrong, just something's wrong with me. And here's the part that should stop you cold. A child who learns that their instincts are the problem doesn't grow out of it. They grow into an adult who second guesses everything they do and feel, who can't trust their own read on a room, who waits for someone else to decide if they are allowed to be upset. The meltdown you shut down tonight isn't just tonight. You're teaching them this early, whether their inner world is something to trust or something to apologize for. A kid is a sponge, everybody knows that. Let's sit with it. What soaks in when we force something they can't understand yet? Confusion. I'm bad. My feelings are the problem. Now, what soaks in when the same kid is doing the same task, but you made it fun? The world is safe to learn. Trying things is okay. Being near you is safe and feels good. Same sponge, however, you're choosing what goes in. Now, I need to be clear because this is where people hear me wrong. There is a hard line. Traffic, the stove, the chemicals underneath the sink. That gets an immediate response. Right now, no debate. You're protecting their life and their safety. And even there, you come back and repair after the temperature has dropped. So the only thing they're left with isn't fear. But here's the real question. Most of what we pull the heavy artillery out for isn't traffic. It's the meltdown, the not sharing, the tantrums. None of that is life or danger. So why are you using the emergency voice on a thing that isn't even an emergency? Those don't need you to react, those need you to lead. So here's what you do instead tonight. When your kid does the thing before anything else, get curious instead of correct. Ask them, what are you trying to do? Because they're always reaching for something that makes sense to them. They just picked a way that doesn't work. That's why it doesn't make sense to us. Once you know what they're after, you can work with it instead of shutting it down. Say a kid is kicking a ball in grandma's house. The old move is stop it, stop kicking the ball. Maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't. And instead, try this. Ask, what do you think would happen if that ball you're kicking around in grandma's house hit that expensive vase right there? How would it make grandma feel? Now they're not fighting a rule. They are picturing it. They are feeling it. Then you hand them the wheel. What could we do with the ball instead? Maybe let's take it outside instead, or play with it later. You just walked them through a consequence and gave them a better option. And they got there mostly on their own. And here's the part that makes it stick. To a kid, life is a game. To us, it's responsibility. We act like those two can't live in the same moment. Why not? A kid will turn a cardboard box into a spaceship. They already know how to make anything play. We just pointed at the thing that needs doing. Won't put laundry away? Let's make it a race. Won't finish dinner? Let's make a little song out of it. None of this lowers your standard. The task still gets done. You're not choosing between teaching them and meeting them where they are. Done right, those are the same move. So that's the shift. You don't have to be the parent with the one right answer who enforces it. You get to be the one who widens the field, who provides more options for them. The one who shows them there's more than the one single thing they're locked onto, who stays grounded enough to lead them instead of force them. Presence, clarity, choice. You feel what's happening. You find the space to know that there is more than one road, and you choose the one that actually teaches them. One last thing. The hardest part of this all is staying grounded enough to lead when your kid's losing it, and every instinct says force it. So I made a free walkthrough called the Reactive Parent Reboot that builds exactly that into something that you can use on the hard nights. It's pinned in the comments, and the link is also in my bio. Grab it before the reaction talks you out of it.